Hello everyone. So this might be my last rapid fire review of the year, but of course I do these when I get a little behind on my movie watching for the year. So of course these I'm just trying to slam out the last review before I can do my best movies, top 10 movies of the year list. So yeah, I think this will be my last rapid fire review. But of course I do these again to just to give you my quick little synopsis of the movie, what I thought about it, what I thought worked, what I thought didn't, and my overall score of them. Just very short, sweet, and simple reviews. So the four films I have today are Bones and All, The Fabelmans, Weird Al the Yankovic, or sorry, Weird the Al Yankovic Story, and Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. So without further ado, let me get into it. So Bones and All, you should probably still find it in theaters. It is about 2 hours and 10 minutes long. Stars Timothée Chalamet and Taylor Russell, and it is about Marine, a young woman who's learning how to survive on the margins of society. She has it was passed down from her mother, but she has some sort of slash curse slash ability where she has to consume human flesh, and she's drawn to eating human flesh. And she meets other, again, I forget exactly what they call them, but like human flesh eaters around the world, and they can basically smell flesh from miles away. They can pick up on each other's scents. They just they're not stronger or anything than other people. They just have a very, very strong sense of smell and again, hunger for flesh. And I definitely had no idea that that's what this movie was going to be about. I thought it was supposed to be a romance, like a romance novel adaptation. So in the first scene, when all of a sudden she is very this movie is very very gory and brutal, and just it doesn't shy away from the violence whatsoever within its entire like cross country road trip story that they're able to tell here. It's basically her trying to meet her mom, and again too she meets Timothée Chalamet, who also is attracted to eating the flesh of other humans. And yeah, it's very, very weird, very, very gory and brutal, but honestly, it's pretty well done in its execution. It reminded me of Doctor Sleep in a lot of ways, and it definitely took inspiration, I think, from the filming and some of the pacing within that movie. But yeah, no, I definitely wasn't expecting almost like a cannibal storyline whatsoever. It shocked me in a lot of ways and held my interest throughout the entirety of the film. And in all honesty, like I did quite enjoy it. I did find that there was some pacing issues, and a lot of times there is issues of predictability within the movie, and I felt that the finale conclusion of this movie was something just really, really lazily done, and I feel like the scenario wouldn't have played out the way that it did within the ending of it. But in all like honesty and with everything they think together, I'm gonna have to give it a 6.5 out of 10. I do think it's worth the watch, and I've heard that it is a pretty solid adaptation of the source material of the book. I haven't read the book myself, but if you're into the book, maybe you'll enjoy this movie. So the next film I have is The Fabelmans. This is from director Steven Spielberg. It is about 2.5 hours long. You should still be able to find it in theaters, or at least on rental now. And it stars Michelle Williams, Paul Dano, Seth Rogen is in this. I know this was heavily inspired by Steven Spielberg's like youth in terms of how he's able to get into movies. But growing up in a post-World War II era Arizona, young Sammy Fabelman aspires to become a filmmaker as he reaches his adolescence, but soon discovers a shattering family secret and explores how the power of films can help him see the truth. So again too, if you love filming, if you love directing, all these things, this movie is definitely way up your alley. It is just a love letter to, again, old school cinema, and of course just the making of movies, and how, again, to filming things, piecing them together and capturing things that seem so normal, just in the moment. When you look back at them on the camera, you can see someone's true self within them, or you can make things look so real. And I just really liked, again, too, the aspects that they went into. Again, just all the amazing things that the eyes can't see, but film can capture in a lot of ways. It was really, really beautiful in terms of its message, and again, too, just its passion and love of movies. The story itself is very, very well done. Heartbreaking for the family. Michelle Williams puts on an absolute clinic of a performance in this movie as well. I do really hope to see her nominated for Best Actress or Best Supporting Actress when it comes to the Oscars this year. But yeah, it's just a very, very incredibly shot movie. Of course, too, Steven Spielberg's talents behind the camera are absolutely amazing, and seeing just some of the old time movies, how they were shot, and again, too, just all the really cool techniques. Like, there's one, I won't really get into it too much, but they talk about how they used to make guns look like they had the muzzle flash when they fired back in the days, and how revolutionary that was for the time, and just how simple of a tactic it was. Just little things like that I found was so interesting, so cool, and it made me just drawn into this movie. Of course, too, I don't think it's going to be for everyone. It is slow in a lot of ways, but if you love film, it's easily something way up your alley. And I'm gonna have to give The Fabelmans an 8.5 out of 10. I love this movie. I definitely will watch it again, and yeah, I just highly recommend it if you're a fan of film or you want to know more about film. Start getting into it. This is definitely a movie to ignite passions. So up third, we have Weird, the Al Yankovic story. You will find this streaming on Roku, and of course, this is a bit of a biopic about Al Yankovic, Weird Al. It stars Daniel Radcliffe as the titular character, so he's playing Weird Al, and it explores every little facet of Yankovic's life, from his meteoric rise to fame with early hits like Eat It and Like a Surgeon, to his torrid celebrity love affairs, famously, and his famously deprived lifestyle is the kind of tagline for this movie. Again, to an hour and 50 minutes long, and it is just an absolute wild ride the entire time through. It's both, again, to like a story of Weird Al. You see some of the early days, but it is also to such a satire of the genre in a lot of ways, and just again, too, with how Weird Al is, his comedic style, all of that. It definitely takes some very creative liberties of the true events that actually happened, but in a way that I found absolutely hilarious. The whole romance with Madonna, who turns out to be evil, and just trying to use him to again gain popularity from having these cover songs, so she could become even more of a mega hit star. To Pablo Escobar trying to kidnap him and make him perform at his own birthday party. Just things like that were absolutely hilarious. Again, too, this movie feels like a satire in a lot of ways, but a really good one. And it's just absolutely hilarious, and I loved every second of it. There's parts in this movie where I thought it was one of the funniest, best things I've ever seen all year. And it can get a little too goofy for its own good, that I think. There are some moments of seriousness, but really the big thing about this movie that really hooked me and kept me super interested was Daniel Radcliffe's amazing performance, and just the range that he had to have throughout the entirety of this movie, through the comedy, again, to the frustration, the excitement, and just every emotion really that he had to go through to capture the character, and again, to just capture the feeling, the weird goofy feeling of this movie, was something pretty damn awesome in terms of his performance. He was really good in the role, and I would love to see more of like a Weird Al story if they ever want to continue it. But it's super funny. It's easily one of my favorite like biopics that I've seen this year or ever, because again, just to the satire of it and how absolutely goofy it was. So I am going to have to give Weird, the Al Yankovic story, an 8 out of 10. Highly recommend it to anyone. I feel like anyone can really get into it and have a good time with the movie. So goofy, so over the top, but that just made it so special for me. And the last movie I have now is Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. So this is, I never actually saw the first Puss in Boots movie, which came out 11 years ago, but this movie is an hour and 40 minutes long, and of course you'll find it in theaters now, and it of course stars Antonio Banderas as Puss in Boots once again. There's quite a lot of voice talent in this movie too. Salma Hayek, Florence Pugh, John Mulaney is in this, Olivia Colman, and the list just kind of keeps going on and on and on and on. But this one is about Puss in Boots discovering that his passion for adventure has taken its toll. He has burned through 8 of his 9 lives, so he sets out on an epic journey to find the mythical last wish and restore his 9 lives. And there is a bunch of assassins and bounty hunters who are basically after the same thing. They want the last wish for their own selfish desires in a lot of ways. So you have Goldilocks and the 3 Bears after it, and a bunch of other like assassins, and just again to almost like hitmen for competing and racing against each other to get to the last wish in time, all while someone is hunting Puss in Boots, trying to take his last life. And trying to be the one to take down the legendary Puss in Boots. There's a lot of really, really funny things, and it's actually a good character study in a lot of ways when it comes to Puss in Boots' character, and again to just the selfishness and living up to the name of being such an epic hero. This movie was way better than I ever thought Puss in Boots movie would ever be, and I kind of want to watch the first one to see if it's lives up or if it was as good as the sequel was, because I really enjoyed this movie. I think for adults and for kids, it's something absolutely hilarious. It's humor for both audiences and all age types, really. I think within this film, it made me laugh a lot of times. The action and the animation is, well, one, beautiful, and two, just so slick and smooth. And I think they took some inspiration from the Kung Fu Panda movies in a lot of times. Yeah, the action's awesome within this. It's really, really good. I like the story. I like the meaning of it. The pacing is great. It's action packed. It's very, very fun. There's a lot of cool mythological and again too just fairy tale aspects that they have within it that was just very, very well done. I really enjoyed this movie, so I'm gonna have to give Puss in Boots: The Last Wish an 8 out of 10. Highly recommended. It was really, really good and easily one of my favorite animated films of the year. So if you've seen any of these 4 films, please let me know what you thought about them in the comments down below. And of course, if you like this review, definitely give it a thumbs up, and you check out everything I do on this channel through a playlist down below. And I'll link some up top here for convenience sake. Thank you for subscribing and turn that little ring on so you know when I upload new videos. If you want to check out the description of this video on my channel bio, there's a link to the Media Mountain, which is my Discord where I talk about movies, video games, comic books, TV, pretty much everything that's awesome in this world. So you can definitely join that amazing community. Help make it even more amazing than it is already. And yeah, just awesome, guys.
Sky blue eyes, I see a world behind them. No more time, sinking into the silence, reaching out for something